In fact, my first company, I took it from 0 to 100 million users, but that was in like a 10-year span. And I can tell you, like, the first 3 years, we had no users, just like today. And I think I might even have more users now than I did back then on day 6 or whatever day this is. Some lessons learned from the past I can tell you, share with you. Like, so we at the time went after, press. And so the idea was like, get on TV, get on all these newspapers and all that. And what we've witnessed is like, on the day of, you spike to maybe 20,000 people coming to your site or whatever. And then within 3 days, it just dies all down. So it's not really sustainable. But I think what I figured out eventually is that if you just keep trying and keep trying, you find like a channel that actually works. For me, I thought that like maybe SEO was the way to go. And at the time, no one in the company thought that was a good idea because there were just so much cost to writing. And we had competitors that had, hundreds and thousands of pages. So that didn't sound like a good idea, but I tried it and learned a little bit about SEO, and that's the beginning. And it ended up hitting, and you just like double and triple down on that one channel, and that ended up being the winning formula for a bit. So here, I think I'm not too worried either. Like, yeah, I have 24 visitors a week, but it's fun, and you guys are following along, and I feel like I'm starting to build a community, and it's really encouraging. So thank you for all the comments. Thank you all for all the subs and likes. Makes this journey, I feel like I'm building it together with you guys. How do I go from this 24 users to what I'm hoping to be like a small business for me, right? I think it's going to be a 3-part plan. I think all founders have to think about 3 things. There's this concept called product market fit. There's this concept called distribution and unit economics. And I'll go into these 3 for Trading Pal. So product market fit is just like a fancy word for if some group of people find your product to be at least 2 to 3 times better than what is offered out there. And so they start to feel like it solves a problem for them. And so that's entirely on the product. The key there, I think, is you don't want to build in a vacuum because you think it's solving someone's problem. When they look at it, you're going to be surprised that they think it's something completely different. And I've seen this so many times in my previous company and also in my current job where I actually work on product. And so that's why like I'm so keen on trying to go get feedback as the top bar and work through that. I keep coming back to this idea that I feel like I've identified, because I've been trading for 5 years, I feel like I've identified a couple of just pain points that's really bad for traders. It takes a long time to find trend lines. Like if you manually find trend lines. In fact, I might do one of these videos where I'm like do a side-by-side of traders, maybe like one using my software, see how long it takes for them to find the right setup for the trade, and then one using like TradingView or something and see how long it takes them to manually draw these lines. There's also, I kept missing lines, right? You get like sort of faked out because there's a line you didn't see coming and the stock goes there. Okay, there are more. For instance, like a daily email that shows you 5 stocks you should really look at and create like a really good scanner. Every other tool that I've used don't use enough AI. I feel like they just use some sort of indicator, and it's not great for trendline traders. Anyway, there are all these things, which is to say that I have all these ideas that I gotta go build. Now, the second thing is distribution, which is what I'm doing now. Like with these videos, you have to kind of figure out how do you reach people, especially the people that care about your product. Because I'm building so hard and I still know that I have a long list of must-haves, I guess, I'm spending part-time on the distribution because you kind of want to make sure it's a minimally remarkable thing that someone's seeing for the first time, or else you kind of burn that energy. But once I start focusing on distribution only, I have some ideas. For instance, doing my 20K challenge, showing how people are winning or losing trades just using my software, showing how to go find stocks really quickly, setups really quickly, side by side. And so hopefully we'll be winning a lot. And with each win, right, I could maybe talk about, we won, X percent dollars. Here's how we did it with Trading Power or something like that. I just don't have the time to make those videos. Although CrowdStrike, our first trade, seems to be going well. And so until then, you're stuck with me kind of doing these unedited, just candid shots. I don't think I have much more time to do anything else. And then last thing, it's called unit economics, which is just a fancy word for figuring out how people pay you, how a paying customer pays you by how much. A basic concept, right? Like maybe everyone should know about that before they start a business. But in actuality, in like tech startups, a lot of times this is like something that founders, they figure out like dead last. Like I grew up in an era where everyone was trying to do just figure out eyeballs because you could do advertisements like Google and Facebook. But it turns out those things take a lot of scale. There are a lot of tricks to how you price things, how big of a company you want. For instance, for me, I'm not treating this as a VC back thing. I've been there, done that. And I've seen the pearls of it, and we'll talk about that maybe another day. I now just want to build something that people essentially pay from day one. And that's sort of like their way of voting with their wallet, right? Telling me a signal like, do they like what I'm building? Do they not? Not looking to make, be one of these like deck of million, whatever companies, just enough to make a living, I think, to quit my job and work on something that I love. I think if you're a founder too, don't think that like doing the VC route, raising hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever, has to be the way. I've done that. And we'll talk about that another day. All right, well, this video is getting quite long. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for all of the comments. I see it all and the encouragements. If you like this kind of thing and want to follow along, give me a like and sub. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.